It's the compounded effect of anything that you do, good or bad. And it starts with your thought life and your thought process. That's where it starts, because it's the springboard of everything. What a lot of people fail to realize is that your mind is both a sending and receiving set. Your mind is both a sending and receiving set. Have you ever been thinking about somebody hard, and then your phone rings or you get a text message from them? Because it's a sending and receiving set. There are things that we don't understand, but they work anyway. Did you all know that there are several languages being spoken in this room right now that we're in? 50, 60 different languages being spoken in this room right now that we're in, that we can't hear because we're not tuned in. But if you get a radio and you tune into the right frequency, you can pick up something in Spanish that's being broadcasted over the airwaves. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And a lot of times when you think it, here's the magical part about what you think. Here's the magical part about what you think. Over a period of time, you can pull into your life anything that you want through your thought life, through your thought process. Over a period of time. I'm so thankful that it's not instant. Because sometimes until you get control of your thought life, the thoughts that you think and the conversations that you have with yourself are not positive. And if it was instant, you would be in trouble. You would be in trouble. Because now you're speaking those things over yourself and into your life that you don't want. You have more conversations with yourself than anybody else. Those little voices in your head are always going. Some of you are like, what voices? That voice right there. And you have these ongoing conversations. These ongoing conversations all the time. And what are you talking to yourself about? Your thoughts are like buttons on an elevator. They can either take you up or take you down. When you get on the elevator doesn't care what button you push. It's going to take you to whatever floor you want to go to that you pushed. Your thought life is the exact same way. It's either going to take you up or it's going to take you down. So you have to get busy controlling your thought life. I spend a lot of time on this because it's important. Without this part, without this foundation, I don't care what how-to I give you. I don't care what system I give you. It doesn't matter. Because your thought life isn't there. So you work on controlling your thought life. Okay? Positive thoughts. Computer programmers say garbage in, garbage out. It's the same with your mind. Whatever you put in is going to come out. Okay? It's gotten to the point now. Now, I grew up in the inner city of Chicago. I don't know if you guys recognize this or not, but I'm black. I don't know if you saw that or not. You know. And I grew up in the hip hop culture. I grew up listening to music that right now I don't necessarily identify with. Once you elevate to a higher moral plane and you're operating at a higher vibration and a higher frequency, there are things that you used to identify with that you will no longer identify with and you have to share. All right, so as much as I love hip hop, sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm programming myself. Because what you do through spaced repetition is your programming. Whatever you listen to over and over again is your programming. Whatever happens over and over again is your programming. Take somebody who is not used to crime and you put them in an environment where crime happens. Initially, they are shocked and appalled. Somebody from a good upbringing, a good background or whatever, or somebody who's young and hasn't seen much, whatever, it doesn't matter. You put them in an environment where crime is more prevalent than it used to be, right? And it gets to the point where they look at crime and first they're shocked and appalled, but second, they accept it as normal because they've seen it so much. And it's like, oh, Well, that's just what happens. That's just what happens. And eventually, if they're in that environment long enough, it becomes okay for them to do it, in spite of what their morals and values may have been a long time ago, if they haven't gotten control of their thought life. Right? You take a good kid from a good neighborhood that was in a good school, and you put him in an environment where the expectations are not what they used to be, where his circle or his sphere of influence or his reference group is not the same that it used to be, where they are involved in activities that eventually he identifies with and it's okay, you will only, or that child will rise to the level of expectation. Do the complete opposite. Take a child that came from a not so good neighborhood where the expectations are low, and you put him or her in a school system or in a program or in an environment where everybody expects them to succeed, and they will rise to the level of expectation because of those influences, the programming that he or she is receiving. So again, let me circle back. First is your thought life, okay? First, you gotta learn to control your thought life. Gotta learn to control it.